a friend of mine got in a really tough position and needed a place to stay for a couple weeks. And I think, not anything against her, I love her to death, but I think it was a tactic of the enemy to get me to pull back over here. Because she was still living that lifestyle, she's still smoking, and I did give in a few times, but it's like, I felt so nasty when I did. Like, I would get this overwhelming anxiety and panic and paranoia. I'd be so paranoid of everything when I would smoke. So anxious to the point where there would be nights I'd be laying in bed and literally be like, I might end up having to go to the hospital because my heart is literally going to jump out of my chest. And so she eventually leaves and I completely stop. That I'm done smoking, I'm done drinking, I'm done with all of it. And I bought a Bible for not the first time, but the first time of me being serious about reading the Bible. So I get my Bible and I dedicate a time to read it. I wake up early in the morning and I'm sitting at my table and I didn't even know where to start. Anytime I had tried to read the Bible, I started in Genesis. And I was like, okay, I don't understand any of this at all, so I'd give up. And so I looked it up on TikTok. I was like, where's the best place to start in the Bible? And almost everyone said Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So I started in the Gospels. And I'm reading about Jesus' life and everything. And the part that struck me the most when I got to this, I can't even tell you how long I had been reading the Bible. It probably been like a week, maybe 2. And I'm reading about forgiveness. And I read the verse that talks about if you do not forgive others, your Father in heaven cannot forgive you. And I was like, oh my goodness. And in that moment, I laid it all out to Jesus. I forgave my father. I didn't audibly say it. I didn't audibly say anything. I just made up my mind. I'm going to forgive him. And I think that's the first time, and since I was 8 years old, that I felt an overwhelming sense of God's presence. I was weeping so hard. And after that moment, my dad actually called me. And we hadn't talked in like a year. We would go years without talking. I wouldn't know where he was. Yeah, and he called me. And when we would talk, we wouldn't really like, it was like, hey, you know, like nothing, because I was so mad at him. I was so resentful. I resented him. But after I forgave him, we developed a relationship. We never had a relationship ever. And it was like all those years, 22 years of built up anger and resentment towards him was just like wiped away. And I didn't see him as the man who abandoned me or the man who chose this lifestyle over being a father to me. I saw him as God's son. That's how I viewed him. God's son who had been through things that made him go down the path he chose. Things that happened to him as a result, as why, like how he is today, or was. So we started to develop a relationship, and he got clean, and we still have an amazing relationship today. And that would have never happened, I truly believe, if I would not have forgave him.